What is happening, flip flop fam? I've got Billy Sammons here. I'm super excited, Billy, but for people who don't know, who are you? What do you do?
Man, like you said, Billy Sammons, and I'm run Live Local marketing. Essentially, I teach entrepreneurs how to use warm marketing skills to grow their business, especially if you're getting tired of like cold leads or buying leads or any of those really like painful, ineffective things. I very early in the career started with cold leads, and after like a week, I was tired of like paying somebody for the privilege to yell at me for calling them on the phone at like 9 a.m. So I'm like, this isn't it, man. This is not what I'm doing. So warm marketing all the way through. It's been a lot of fun to grow my business over the last 16 years using very specific giving strategies. So
Awesome. I love it. So when you say live local, is it for brick and mortar businesses? Is it for online businesses? Everybody, tell me more about that.
it could be anybody really. So the crux of it is that I have the superhero origin story is back way back in the day that a brewery opened up in our community, and I was looking for ways to make more contacts, meet more people, and do all that stuff. And they were really awesome for the community. One of those spots where everybody collects and they have food trucks and it's chill and friendly, bring dogs, all the stuff. And so after a few days of being open, I was there a few times and I'm like, hey, listen, I want to do a commercial for you guys. I just want to do something because I want my audience to know that you're here and for you to be successful. And so I went in and I did the commercial and just had a lot of fun doing it. And it parlayed into another one with a different company and then another one with another company. And I've just been doing it that way and meeting people. And after a few of those, I'm like, I want to grow my audience, grow my audience. But then quickly realized that the niche was really meeting the business owners and giving to them specifically. Because if you
Hmm.
give them something of value, they open their audience up to you. So instead of trying to grow my audience and doing all these tricks and hacks and all this stuff, just meeting business owners and giving them something to help them succeed really what it came down to. And so I made that pivot really early on. And from there, I know all the business owners in our community, like, the mini mayor of the town, and, have been able to help and give back to my community. And at the same time, my business grows because once you start knowing all of them, you start knowing a little bit of everybody. So that's how the whole thing started up. And that's how it works. You go then do a podcast or do a video commercial for a business owner, you get it in your community, and there's a lot of uh, marketing strategies that go with it. The YouTube and the reels and the social media and all that stuff. And then once you start giving, eventually you start getting to.
Hmm.
So,
Well, what do they say? The best way to get what you want is to help other people get what they want,
yep,
right?
exactly what it is, man. Exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
One of the things I struggle with clients is the vast, and builders are notorious for this. A lot of my clients are
Yeah.
home builders, and they sit in their truck and wait for millions of dollars to fall from the sky. Like they do.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
one of the only groups I know that has spends $0 on marketing, and they come to a call with me and they're like, "We need help with leads." I'm like, "Well, what are you doing?" Nothing at all. Okay, well let's
Nothing at
start.
all.
Let's start there.
Yeah. I got
Um,
some trucks with my logo on it. There you go.
yeah, yeah. And I always say Coca-Cola, spreads by word of mouth too, but they still have a $3 billion marketing budget for a reason.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
and one of the things I find difficult, and it sounds like this is the path you're going down, is just a lead magnet. Just a really
Yep.
simple, like, hey, here's
Yep.
the top 10 mistakes
Yep.
new built people who build homes in Boohoo, Arkansas make, and give them some value there, some real value, and what do you know? They're in your funnel, and obviously there's a lot that goes behind that, but
Yep.
it sounds like that's your method too.
That's what we do. So as a matter of fact, there was a home builder at we just did an event recently, a charity event, and there was a home builder there, and he's been kind of following me around doing the same thing, right? So he went from all the other builders, like you said, just sit back. He's starting to go and meet local business owners the same way I am. He's kind of following me around a little bit and doing the same strategies. So once you get a chance to meet all the business owners and you start, interacting the community a little bit more, and they see that you're giving back to the community and you're doing things, you start getting that trust. So which is sometimes tough for business of our especially builders. Sometimes those builders, the trust is a
Uphill
big
battle.
hurdle. So yeah, that's for sure. But if they're out there, you're out there doing something and charity and community work, that really lets down one of the barriers that you need to get to be successful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, almost everything we do here is donated to our foundation. So, like my book, most of my
That's
programs,
cool.
everything goes to send a student leader abroad. But when I was building, we did a lot, obviously, with Habitat. We did a lot of volunteer work,
Yes.
et cetera. But
Yep.
we did a lot with the men's shelter and a lot with crisis assistance ministries and just things that were simple but got our name out there. And we'd throw big
Yep.
parties and everybody had a good time. And but I totally agree with you. And I'm curious. One of our guys, his name's Justin. I'll give him a shout out. He's in Arkansas, But he has got some big players in his community, like ABF Trucking, and some of the, they've
Oh
got
yeah.
3,000 employees at their headquarters. And we came up with a strategy, and he's just now implementing it. So I want your feedback. He
Okay.
basically went in, talked to the CEO, and said, we want to be your preferred builder for your C-suite, because he builds big stuff, million plus. And now they get a discount through him, 5% off of whatever the cost is, whatever. And he's the preferred builder. And now that email memo is going out to the C suite and all the people, all the executives that are there that are perfect target audience. I mean, would you agree with that strategy? What would you do different? Like, what do you like about it? What do you hate?
No, no, no. That's definitely a way to do it. And he did it. And he reached out to a business that was my initial reaction was like, all right, so how do I help a trucking company? Like, how do I get them to, how do I do something for them? Because they are bigger scale. So that would be my hurdle. Usually I deal with like local business owners in the community, teachers, veterans, things like that. The bigger companies, I always try to like start with what value are you adding, right? What can I do to help you? So that would be my main thing. Like, what can I help with a trucking company? Like they're pretty big. They have a lot of things intact. So that would be the only hurdle. Where are the values at? Where are your pain points? How can I help you with those? And then I just kind of work backwards from there. So what he did was perfect. I don't know how he did. That's pretty impressive, actually. Pretty impressive how he did that with such a big company. That's pretty good.
You know what I was just thinking of too as you're talking, my brain spinning, is if he had like some short-term rentals. Like I came out of the short-term rental world.
Yeah.
I had a whole separate company that did that, but he could basically help them with their relocation arm, put people up in a house, handle it all for the company, and
Yeah.
then help them
Yes.
build their permanent house when they're there.
Yeah, so I do a little tiny bit of that too. And yeah, that's yeah, a great way of adding value because they have a need. They have bodies and they gotta probably have hotels or have whatever. But if he
Yeah.
has those, yeah, it's always about what's your pain points, where are you struggling, where don't you have time, where can I add value? And if you go into a scenario like that, which is what we do through the program, our systems, then they're always gonna have a need for you. You always got to make yourself useful. And if you're always making yourself useful, you're always going to be around and the opportunities will start coming up as long as you continue adding value and helping them succeed.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm listening to this and I'm like, man, this sounds great, Billy, but where would we start? What do I do? I don't even know where to begin. What would you tell me?
So it depends what business you're in, right? So when I first started this whole thing back in the day, I was actually in real estate. And so I was trying to meet more people and do the same thing. So I have an array of people we work with. So it depends on what industry you're in. But let's say you're in real estate. Let's use that as our example since you're in building and stuff too. So in real estate, I got to meet more people. Great. So you start with people who have common needs, like lenders or maybe a title company. Or I always went with people that I thought were good parts of the community. I went to the breweries. I went to the cupcake place. I'd go to the local charity. I'd go to the schools because you need to know the principles and stuff like that for the school systems in order to be a local expert. So I was positioning myself to be that local expert and meeting all the different people. So when my clients showed up, they're like, well, I need this. You're like, cool, I got a guy. I did a video for him the other day. Like, go this direction. So really what you want to do is start off with who do you need to meet to make your business grow and who can you easily add value to? Don't make it complicated. Like this is so simple. And if you make it complicated, you won't do it. So all the people I deal with have full-time careers, and this is just an element of their marketing. And so I have to simplify them and simplify and simplify because if it's not 2 or 3 steps, you don't have time to do it. So make it simple. Like, who do I need to meet? How can I add value? And what do they need? And I always do commercials. Commercials is the easiest way. Every business needs a little more attention. And that's how
Hmm.
I built the whole thing out is just by going in there and making it super simple. You only need 3 things. You need your camera, which is your phone these days. You need a tripod and you need a lapel mic. Done. And that's it. If you need it, if you make it more complicated than that, you're doing yourself an inservice, right? Injustice. I mean, um,
Yeah.
keep it simple. Then it's just a matter of getting it out there and helping that business grow. So, who do you need to meet? How can you add value? Keeping it simple. That's the 3 steps.
I'm a Henry David Thoreau nerd, and
There you
actually have a quote tattooed on my arm. But
Nice.
it made me think of when he said "simplify, simplify, simplify,"
Yep.
and Emerson said, "I think one simplify would have done."
It's pretty good.
Thought you might appreciate that. So Tell me a little bit about a little more of how you got into this
Yeah.
world. Like, what made you want to pursue this as a career versus probably the hundred other things you could have done?
So it's funny is like before in my previous life, I was a teacher. I was a high school teacher and taught at the local community college, and I always have like that sense of giving, like it's like in the bones. Like I have to do something. Like I can't just sit still and not do or give or help. And at that time when I started doing this, we started seeing a lot of box stores popping up, and you kind of feel like it's taken from the identity of our community a little bit. And so everybody's around complaining, "Oh, these box stores are coming in." I'm like, "Well, let's do something. Let's get off our butts and let's do something." So that was really what inspired me, is to start going out to these local businesses and helping them, creating commercials, do something. So that way everybody knows, if I need something, here's a place, because I saw Live Local marketing it. And it works really well in that sense. But it was just a matter of like not sitting back and complaining, really is what inspired the whole thing, is just doing and giving. That's really what it was. Simple.
Awesome, man. How can people find you? Where do you hang out?
Oh, the website's the easiest, which is under construction, depending on when this goes out. It's www.livelocalwarmmarketing.com. And we're tweaking some stuff, but you'll see all the things you need on there. There's like blogs, and there's free stuff, and there's I love I have the 5-day challenge on there, which is like a short version of the whole thing. You can take that to kind of sample it and see like, all right, is this right for me? I don't really know. The 5-day challenge gives you the quick version of it, where you can actually try it out. And by the end, you should be able to get in contact with somebody and add them to your system and add them to your sphere. So it actually works and actually gives, people into your world. And if you love what you're seeing, then there's other options after that. But I always like give and educate and give first. And if it's right for you, then we'll have another. But let's just see if it fits, because some people love cold calling for some reason and buying leads and spending their money on those things. Not me, but
That's not
other
not
people
me.
do. Yeah, it's no fun.
I started a long time ago. I worked for Cutco, if you know Cutco
Oh
Cutlery.
yeah, Cutco, the knives.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
was 18years old in college and just
yeah,
crushing it. But it was just so many phone calls. You don't know me, but we both know Billy Sammons. Like, so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
been there, done that, brother. Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's no fun
What do you think the biggest misconception is when it comes to marketing?
in general.
Hmm.
That you have to like the path. Like when I first started too, I'm like, I was told you got to buy leads and you have to get started somewhere like that where they're handing you leads, and you got to start cold calling, and you have to like put your time in. And that's not the case. You don't have to. Like it's so much cheaper and easier just to warm market and meet people face to face than it is paying for all these leads that you have to hound and call 5 to 7 times, and they have no loyalty to you, and they'll switch on the dime and go with somebody else if it's a little bit cheaper, and it's just not a good way to do it. But we're told that that's the way to get started every single time. You have to buy the leads, you got to grow a system, and you don't. You just go out there and have to have a system of like intentionally meeting people in your own community, and it's so much easier to grow your business. So
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I have this conversation with guys, and there's a training I've got, and if you're listening to this and you want it, just message me. But it's called Now Clients Next Clients, and it's that guy who comes to me and he's like, I don't have any leads coming in. It's not predictable. It's again, they're just waiting for business to. I'm gonna
yeah,
hit 12 million next year, and like they have
yeah, yeah.
absolutely no idea how to
No
get
idea.
there.
No system. Yeah.
And I ask, how many lunches have you taken people to in the last month?
Yeah.
Zero.
Coffee.
How many stop bys have you done by realtors or architect offices or just dropped off donuts and said hello?
Yeah.
Zero. And I call it hand to hand combat.
Yeah.
It's that
Yep.
stuff that
Boots on the
everybody
ground.
wants to. I'm curious what you think about this, because what I see is everybody wants to hide behind this digital age we live in, and they
Yeah.
think that I'm going to put up a neat Instagram post and my $2 million buyer is then going to call me. And don't get me started on just having contact us. You might as well have a boarded up front door on your business. But have a whole other training on that.
Don't
But
contact me. Yeah.
I see that certainly in the age of AI, certainly in the age of tech. I'll give you another example. I'll back up a little bit. You go and do a proposal for Mrs. Smith. Send a thank you card, the world's simplest thank you card, handwritten in your crappy
Yep.
writing, that says, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, it was great meeting you. I hope
Thanks
we
for
can
being
work on
with.
a
Yeah.
project," and throw it in the mail. I promise you, nobody else is doing it.
No.
And it's just that little simple touch stuff, the human interaction, the why I still film all my own ads and it's not some AI garbage. I think
Yeah.
what you're nailing with your business is that it's the human interaction, it's the human touch
Yep.
that we all crave and we just don't get anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be even more, but saturation in the space, right? Because it's so easy to just have AI crank out an ad that we're just going to be so used to seeing it. It's going to be like the funnels and all that stuff, and it's just going to be so saturated because the level of entry is so low that everybody's going to do it on the cheap, and it's going to be white noise at some point. But going into a business and saying, "Hey, listen, I want to do a podcast with you or a video with you, and I want to add to your business. I've got an audience I want to introduce you to." That is way different. Like that adds adding value to their life, that they're going to pay attention to you. They're going to sit down with you. It's going to be a relationship that will last for as long as you want it to last, as long as you continue to stay in touch with that person, versus the saturation of another AI video that they see a billion times over again. Even the funniest, most clever ones, you watch it once and you forget about it. Maybe you tell a friend about it, but you can't find it again anywhere. Like it doesn't have any impact. So yeah, it's just going to be more and more saturation. So I'm kind of hoping my old school way of doing this comes back full circle and becomes kind of the new trend, the new way of doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
I have faith. I think it's going to be the way to
It's
do
the
it.
unlock, brother. I really believe
Yep.
that that is the secret unlock.
Yep.
Great stuff, man. So, the last guest left you a question. You get to leave the next guest a question.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah.
before I ask you yours, Billy, what would you like to ask the next guest?
What would I ask the next guest? I have been asking people this a lot. What strategies do you use to avoid burnout?
Ooh.
Because that has been new trend. People just working their faces off. Because now we have like AI assistants that we just mocked AI, but AI does have like some good parts to it, like being an assistant and helping you crank like prioritize and do stuff. People can do things on their own a lot easier now. And so burnout, I think, is going to come more and more and more because people are taking on the whole thing and letting AI do some of the menial tasks
Mm-hmm.
that don't really matter so much. So burnout's been a big thing, I think.
It's certainly my passion project. I tell my
Yeah.
guys, my coaching clients, it's my half of my job or more is protecting your time.
Yeah.
And I have a whole calculator they go through once they do their time audit, but it puts you, I'll send it to you, you'd appreciate it, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's
the
awesome.
it's the right brain. Like I know I'm worth more than these tasks I'm doing, and this
Yes.
puts a number to it. And on average, my average builder is leaving about $750,000 on the table just in tasks.
Ooh.
So my idea is that connects left and right brains so that they actually stop
See the
doing
number.
that stuff. They're a $400 an hour employee in their business and they're answering the phone and doing books and sending out payroll. And it's like, what are you doing? You know,
Like,
back to lunches, back to meetings, back to being out in the
yeah.
community,
Yeah.
the stuff that actually pays the bills. So, I actually you might appreciate this. I've got another little hack that
Okay. Let's do
actually
it.
I reposted this video the other day, but it was called, Would You Do It Tomorrow? And so, like in my world, I might get asked to do a speaking event or come on somebody else's workshop, etc. And it's 6 months from now. And I believe there's a fallacy that we're going to have more time in 3 months or
Yeah.
6 months than we do now. So I look at my calendar tomorrow. Would I have time to do that tomorrow? Then the answer is no. I'm not going to do
Oh
it in
man,
6 months either.
that's crazy. That's good. I'm gonna start using that, man. That's awesome. That's
It's
a
worked
good
for
one.
me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So you ready for your question?
Yeah, let's do it.
And this one's a little bit off the wall. It's from Al Kushner. He said, When is the last time you updated your LinkedIn profile?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's been a while. So we've been making some pivots and stuff in the business. I've changed some of the marketing stuff that we've been doing. So I've been constantly updating it. Like the website got finished, and on the back of my LinkedIn thing said under construction still. So I had to update my back banner and I updated a bunch of the links. And so yeah, so I actually did just recently in the last couple of weeks updated the thing. So yeah, that's pretty funny.
Cool. Well, you'll have to listen to that episode. That's all he does is, I mean, he's an AI guy for sure, but it's all about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So that's
Yeah,
that's why that was
gotcha.
his question.
Probably not
Um,
optimized, but updated. There's a difference between optimized and updated. This is updated, but I don't know if it's optimized. That's a
I would
different.
agree with that. I'll research guys that book in a 20 with me, and I don't know them, right? They came off of a lead magnet or a funnel, and I'll go to their LinkedIn, and builders again are notorious for not updating that because that's
Oh yeah,
that's
not touching
typically
anything.
not where they live, but it is where their customers live. Their customers
Yeah,
are executives. Their customers are on LinkedIn all
reasonable.
day. and their profile will say like that they're still an electrician or work at a pizza shop or something. It's like something from 12 years ago. And it's like you might not look at it, but I promise your clients are looking at it and it
Yeah,
matters,
yeah, yeah. That's
you know.
funny. Yeah.
So,
Hey, the
well,
grayer I
brother,
get too. I gotta keep updating it the grayer I get because I can't have one of those like glamour shots where like it's got all the black hair and people look at me like that's not you. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and realtors are the worst for that. I
Oh, they're the absolute worst. Yeah,
when
they're
when I
bad.
was in Charleston, I had his name was Buck Rogers, and he's still around. But you look at his card, and it was at least a 25-year-old picture, and then you meet him in person, and you're like, "Is your dad? Are you coming? Like,
Who is this person?
who is this man?" So
They went to
for
the
sure,
mall in the 80s and took the picture with the big poofy hair, and that's their
yeah,
card. You're like, all right,
yeah,
well, I guess if that works for you, I don't. You can update that pretty easily, man. I don't know. Vista print, you can print 1,000 new ones for like $1.50.
right. I love it. I love it.
Jeez.
Well, man, before we bounce, anything else you want to share with the audience?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on today, Ben. This has been a great conversation. And I hope some folks start getting out into the community, and it's a great way to network, and it's an easy barrier of entry because people, especially now, are looking for help and looking for like community people to help bring more people to their doors and advertise and market. Everybody's looking for a little help right now these days, so it's a great time now, especially around we're in the holidays, depending on when this posts, where you can easily give and give and give without asking for any return, and you'll see the residuals down the road. I promise. So
I love it. I love it. Well, brother, we'll have to have you back on again sometime.
I am all in. This was fun.
All right, Flip Flop fam, that does it for me and Billy. All of his information will be in the show notes. And until next time, keep it on the flip side. Cheers.